My name is Owen Muller, and did you know that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration reported that there were over 66,000 wildfires in the year 2022 in the United States? I didn't hear about more than two of them, and there's a reason for this. Our firefighting officials and other trained professionals do an incredible job at keeping us safe from these fires. Today, I hope to educate you about wildfires, how our professionals take care of them, how we prevent them, and if you're ever face to face with a wildfire, what you can do to keep yourself safe. I believe this topic is especially relevant today due to the forest fires in Quebec and Alberta, Canada. They're so large that the smoke has actually made its way down into the New England area. If you live in New England like me, then I'm sure you can smell the smoke and see the orange tint in the air. This is especially relevant for those who live in New York, where it is fully orange, and it's actually extremely dangerous to breathe in the air for an extended period of time. I am not an expert on firefighting myself. However, my uncle has been a firefighter for over 25 years and has gained quite a bit of experience. The information you'll hear today comes from him and from sources online, encyclopedias, and government websites that are trustworthy. By the end of this speech, I hope that you will have learned some important tactics and techniques used to stop fires before they become widespread, and what is done if a fire does indeed become widespread. Before I go into how to prevent them, I would like to give you a little context on what exactly a wildfire is, how dangerous it is, and how it happens in the first place. First of all, what is a wildfire? The Britannica Encyclopedia reports that any fire, man-made or naturally occurring, which affects an area of vegetation that is more than 1.8 meters high is classified as a wildfire. Unfortunately, there are very few wildfires that actually fit this minuscule scale. So how does it happen? Any area of dense vegetation, especially one that is dry, is susceptible to being lit ablaze, and there are tons of reasons that a fire can be started, especially by accidents. There are many occurrences of natural wildfires caused by things such as lightning. I have a picture here of Providence. It is arguably the most rural place in Rhode Island. However, as you can see, especially on the east side, there's a lot of vegetation, so it is also susceptible to wildfires. How dangerous is it? Well, in terms of speed and how fast it spreads, its rate is generally determined by the wind speeds in the area, but it has been reported by the Western Fire Chiefs Association that it can be spreading at rates of 15 miles per hour, which is faster than the average human can run. The fire itself will destroy anything flammable that makes its way into its path and will melt most plastics and metals. This means almost everything in your home will be destroyed if caught in a wildfire. The smoke and ash, however, is actually much more dangerous to humans. The smoke can cause eye and skin irritation and cause a plethora of respiratory issues. In extreme cases, patients have actually had strokes and fallen into cardiac arrest solely due to the smoke from wildfires, reported by the United States Environmental Protection Agency. So what have our brave firefighting professionals come up with in order to stop these wildfires from spreading? First and foremost, if a fire is in imminent danger to any populated area, this area is then evacuated and everyone inside is moved to a safe distance away from the fire. In terms of tactics they've developed, after interviewing my uncle, I learned a couple. When I asked him what sort of protocols they trained to go through, Mr. Gray answered that they are trained to remove fuel ahead of it and to attack from the sides an already burned area so not to get caught up in the fire and trapped in front of it. The fuel he refers to here is almost always going to be brush, trees, grass, and other vegetation. However, generally, it's anything that can be lit on fire and be fuel for the fire. Firefighters also use specialized rakes, as seen in the left over here. They use the rakes to dig up dirt in already burned areas. This dirt is then placed on top of the burned area in order to prevent it from catching fire again. There's also a process called backburning, where firefighters will create a ring of fire around the already burning area and create a perimeter, that can be seen in the picture in the top left. This process prevents the fire from spreading past the ring, because once the fire reaches it, all the materials there have already been burned up, and therefore there is no fuel. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about the smoke. In my uncle's words, It is up to the mercy of the winds. They've also developed special vehicles, such as planes and helicopters, that are equipped to hold massive amounts of water, and these water is then dropped on top of the fire site. These, among many other protocols, are what our professionals have been trained to do. Now, what can you do if you're face to face with a wildfire? I have a couple charts here from the U.S. Department of Agriculture that give a couple suggestions. If you notice a wildfire forming and approaching your area, calmly call the local fire department and inform them of the situation. If possible, evacuate the area with your family. However, if you become trapped in the forest fire, then the U.S. Department of Agriculture suggests staying in your home and staying away from all exterior walls. Close all the doors, but keep them unlocked in case you need to leave. Keep everyone in your house in one area and try your best to stay calm. Always remember that no matter how hot it is inside the house, it will always be many times hotter and a lot more dangerous outside the house. After the fire subsides, check your roof for embers and quickly extinguish them if you find any. The same goes for your front and backyards. It is also suggested that you continue checking for at least 12 hours after the fire has subsided for embers, or until professionals come and say that it is safe and all fires have been extinguished. I'm going to leave these charts up for the remainder of the speech in case you want to read them. With that, I hope that everyone listening can now put this information to good use and stay safe in such an event. Before I close today, I would like to just restate some important information. A forest fire can spread faster than the average person can run. Do not try to fight fires if you are not a trained professional. Protect yourself from smoke from the coming fires if possible. Firefighters have numerous tricks up their sleeves and in order to combat and contain forest fires. So please trust them and listen to what they tell you. If you are caught in a fire, stay inside and stay away from the walls. And most importantly, stay calm. I ask that everyone listening please practice proper fire safety. Don't fool around with flames or you will get burned. And always remember, only you can prevent forest fires.